Hello, my dear dreamer. Tonight, we journey together to a place where the world grows quiet and the sky remembers how to sing. We are traveling to the highlands of Hyrule, to the sacred peaks of Mount Lanayru, where winter has laid its gentle hand across ancient stone and endless snow. Here, in this place of stillness and starlight, the Aurora borealis weaves its silent dance across the heavens, and time itself seems to pause, as if holding its breath in wonder. You have been walking for hours, though the journey feels less like effort and more like a slow dissolving into the landscape itself. The path behind you has long since vanished beneath fresh snow, and ahead, the world opens into a vast amphitheater of white peaks and crystalline air. Your boots sink softly with each step, the snow sighing beneath your weight, and your breath clouds before you in silver plumes that hang for just a moment before the cold air takes them gently back into itself. The sun is setting now, slipping down behind the western ridge with a slowness that feels intentional, as if it too is reluctant to leave this place. The light it casts is the color of honey poured through amber glass, warm and golden despite the cold that presses close around you. It catches on the snow, turning each drift into a pool of liquid light, and the shadows that stretch across the mountainside are not dark but blue, deep and soft as velvet, inviting you to rest within them. You pause here, at the edge of a small clearing where the mountain flattens just enough to hold you. Below, the land falls away in tumbling ridges and narrow valleys, all of them draped in snow, all of them silent. Above, the peaks rise like the shoulders of sleeping giants, their summits lost in the gathering dusk, and between them, the sky is beginning to deepen, shifting from pale gold to something richer, something darker, the color of a sapphire held to candlelight. This is where you will make camp tonight, not because you must, but because the mountain itself seems to offer this place to you, a small pocket of stillness carved from stone and snow and wind. There is no urgency here, no destination waiting beyond the next ridge, only this moment and the long, quiet night ahead. You lower your pack to the ground, feeling the weight leave your shoulders, and the relief is immediate, a softness that spreads through your muscles like warmth. The pack settles into the snow with a muffled sound, and you stand for a moment, simply breathing, simply being. Your hands are cold inside your gloves, and you flex your fingers, feeling the stiffness there, the way the cold has crept in despite the wool and leather. But it is not an unpleasant cold. It is clean, sharp, honest. It reminds you that you are alive, that you are here, standing on the roof of the world as the day slowly empties itself of light. Around you, the ruins of an ancient structure rise from the snow like broken teeth. Stone pillars, half collapsed, leaning, at angles that suggest both great age and great patience. Archways that lead nowhere, their purpose long forgotten, their meaning eroded by centuries of wind and weather. There are carvings here, faint and worn, spirals and symbols that once meant something to someone, but now they are only textures beneath your fingertips when you reach out to touch them, only whispers of a past that no longer speaks in words. The stone is cold, so cold it almost burns, and you pull your hand back, tucking it beneath your cloak. You can feel the mountain's presence in that stone, the weight of it, the permanence of it. This place was here before you, and it will be here long after you have gone, and there is something deeply comforting in that thought, something that makes your own worries feel small and distant, like clouds drifting over a far horizon. You choose a spot near one of the broken walls, where the stone curves just enough to block the wind. The ground here is relatively flat, the snow not too deep, and when you brush it aside with the side of your boot, you find stone beneath, solid and cold and real. This will be your hearth tonight. This will be the center of your small world. From your pack, you take the things you will need. A bedroll, heavy and worn, its fabric stiff with cold but familiar, comforting. A bundle of firewood, gathered from the tree line far below, each piece carefully chosen, each one dry and ready to burn. A small lantern, its metal dark and smooth, its wick waiting. And furs, thick and soft, the pelts of mountain creatures who know this cold better than you ever will, who have made peace with winter in ways that you can only borrow, only wrap around yourself like a gift. You spread the bedroll first, unrolling it slowly, letting it settle onto the stone. It is not much of a barrier between you and the mountain, but it is enough. Enough to soften the hardness, enough to hold a little warmth. You weigh down the corners with stones you find half buried in the snow, smooth and rounded by ancient glaciers. And when you step back to look at it, you feel a small satisfaction, a quiet pleasure in this simple act of making a place for yourself. The firewood comes next. You arrange it carefully, methodically, building a small structure of kindling and tinder in the center of the cleared space. Your fingers are clumsy with cold, and it takes longer than it should, but there is no rush. The sun is still lingering on the horizon, and the light is still golden, and the night, when it comes, will be long and full of stars. You strike the flint once, twice, 3 times, and on the third strike, a spark catches. It is a small thing, barely visible in the fading light, but it is enough. The tinder smokes, then glows, then suddenly, blessedly, ignites. The flame is tiny at first, hesitant, but you shield it with your hands, breathing gently, coaxing it to grow, and it does, slowly, steadily, until the kindling catches, and then the larger wood. And then suddenly, there is warmth, there is light, there is the soft, crackling sound of fire finding its voice. You sit back on your heels, watching the flames dance, and for a moment, you do nothing else. You simply watch. The fire is blue at its base, where the heat is most intense, and it flickers through orange and gold as it reaches upward, sending small spirals of smoke into the air. The smoke is pale and thin, and it rises straight up in the still air, a fragile column connecting earth to sky. The warmth reaches you slowly, a gentle pressure against your face and hands, and you close your eyes just for a moment, feeling it seep into your skin. It is not enough to drive away the cold entirely, but it is enough to soften it, to make it bearable, to remind you that warmth exists, that comfort is possible, even here, even now. When you open your eyes again, the sun has slipped a little lower, and the sky has deepened. The gold has given way to rose and lavender, and the peaks around you are silhouetted now, dark shapes against a glowing sky. The first stars are beginning to appear, faint and tentative, pinpricks of light in the vast expanse above. You settle onto the bedroll, pulling the furs around your shoulders. They are heavy, heavier than you remembered, and they smell of wool and smoke and something wild, something that cannot be tamed. You arrange them carefully, tucking the edges beneath you, creating a cocoon of warmth that traps your body heat and holds it close. It is not perfect, not completely warm, but it is enough. It is more than enough. The fire crackles softly, and you feed it another piece of wood, watching the flames adjust, watching them find new patterns to dance. The wood hisses as the cold leaves it, and the flames leap higher for a moment before settling back into their rhythm. You can feel the heat on your face now, and you turn slightly, letting it warm your cheek, your ear, the side of your neck. The light from the fire makes the ruins glow. The stone pillars, the broken archways, they all seem to soften in the flickering light, their edges blurred, their shadows dancing. It is as if the ruins are waking, as if they are remembering something, some distant purpose, some forgotten song. But they do not speak. They only stand, silent and patient, and they watch over you as the night begins to unfold. You reach for your water skin, uncorking it carefully. The water inside is cold, so cold it makes your teeth ache when you take a sip, but it is clean and pure, tasting of snow and stone and nothing else. You drink slowly, feeling the cold travel down your throat, feeling it settle in your stomach, grounding you, reminding you of your body, your breath, your presence in this place. The sky continues to darken, the rose fades, the lavender deepens into indigo, and the stars multiply, spreading across the heavens like seeds scattered by an invisible hand. They are so bright here, so sharp, unfiltered by clouds or distance, and you tilt your head back, letting your gaze drift upward, losing yourself in the vastness of it all. And then, just as the last light leaves the western horizon, just as the darkness settles fully over the mountain, you see it. The Aurora. It begins as a faint glow, barely visible, a suggestion of green light on the northern horizon. You might almost think you imagined it, that it is only a trick of your tired eyes, but then it grows, slowly, steadily, spreading across the sky like ink poured into water. It is not harsh, not bright, but soft, luminous, a ribbon of pale green light that seems to pulse with its own slow heartbeat. You stop moving, you stop thinking, you simply watch. The aurora ripples, shifts, changes. It is not still, never still, always moving, always becoming something new. One moment, it is a single arc, stretching from one peak to another, and the next, it has split into two, into three, into a dozen threads of light that weave and twist and dance. The green is pale, almost translucent, and through it you can still see the stars, sharp and bright, like diamonds scattered across velvet. Another ribbon appears, this one deeper, richer, the color of moss on ancient stone, and it moves faster, curling back on itself, spiraling upward before fading, dissolving, becoming nothing more than a memory of light. And then another and another, until the entire northern sky is alive with color, with movement, with something that feels almost like music, though there is no sound, only silence, only the soft whisper of wind against stone. You pull the furs tighter around yourself, settling more deeply into the bedroll, and you watch. There is nothing else to do, nowhere else to be. The fire crackles beside you, the snow glows faintly in the starlight, and above, the Aurora dances, and you are held, suspended, between earth and sky, between warmth and cold, between waking and dreaming. The wind picks up, just slightly, just enough to stir the snow at the edges of the clearing. It is a gentle wind, not bitter, not harsh, and it carries with it the scent of pine from the forests far below, and the clean, empty scent of ice, and something else, something you cannot name, something that smells like distance, like vastness, like the spaces between stars. The flames flicker in response, bending away from the wind, and you shift slightly, adjusting the furs, making sure the cold cannot find a way in. Your body is warm now, cocooned in wool and fur and firelight, but your face is cold, exposed to the air, and the contrast is strangely pleasant, grounding, a reminder that you exist in this space, that you are part of this moment. The Aurora continues its slow dance. A ribbon of light stretches across the sky, trembling, shivering, as if caught in some invisible current. It is so beautiful it almost hurts to look at, and yet you cannot look away. You feel something in your chest, something that might be awe, or wonder, or perhaps just a deep, quiet gratitude for being here, for witnessing this, for existing in this small pocket of time and space where the world reveals its hidden beauty. Time begins to blur. You are not sure how long you have been sitting here, watching the sky. It could be minutes, or it could be hours. The fire burns lower, and you feed it another piece of wood, your movements slow and deliberate, and the flames accept the offering, consuming it, transforming it into light and heat and smoke that rises, 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 until it is lost among the stars. The snow around you glows faintly, reflecting the light of the aurora, and it is as if the mountain itself has become luminous, as if it is lit from within. The ruins, the stone pillars, the broken archways, they all seem to pulse with that same pale green light, and for a moment you feel as though you have stepped outside of time, as though this place exists somewhere beyond the ordinary world, somewhere sacred, somewhere eternal. Your breath clouds before you, and you watch it, the way it rises and dissipates, the way it becomes part of the air, part of the night. Each breath is a small act of exchange, a giving and a taking, and you feel connected to everything around you, to the stone, the snow, the fire, the sky. You are not separate from this place. You are part of it, woven into it, held by it. The cold presses closer now, but it is not unwelcome. It is simply there, a presence, a companion. You adjust the furs again, tucking them more tightly around your legs, and you lean back against the stone wall, feeling its solidity, its permanence. The stone is cold, so cold, but it does not yield, does not shift, and you let it hold you, let it support your weight, let it be the anchor that keeps you grounded in this moment. Above, the aurora continues its slow, silent dance, and you watch, and you breathe, and you are here, fully, completely, and there is nowhere else you need to be. The night deepens, the stars multiply, the aurora shimmers and fades and shimmers again, and you sit by your small fire on the heights of Mount Lanayru, wrapped in furs, surrounded by ancient ruins, and you are at peace. Again, the Aurora shivers. Again, a ribbon of light curls across the sky, pale green against the deepening indigo, and you watch it with the same quiet wonder as before, as if seeing it for the first time, as if each moment is new, is singular, is unrepeatable, and perhaps it is. Perhaps each flicker of light, each shift in the pattern is unique, will never happen again in quite the same way, and so you do not look away, do not close your eyes, do not let your attention drift. The fire has settled into a steady rhythm now, burning low and even, the flames no longer leaping, but glowing, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. The coals beneath are beginning to show through, bright orange and red, and they radiate a heat that is deeper, more constant than the flames themselves. You can feel it on your shins, on the tops of your feet, and it is a good feeling, a reassuring feeling, the kind of warmth that seeps into your bones and makes you sigh without meaning to. You shift your position slightly, easing the stiffness in your legs, and the furs rustle softly around you. The sound is muffled, absorbed almost immediately by the snow and the stillness, and it reminds you of how quiet it is here, how profoundly quiet. There is no wind now, not even the faintest breeze, and the silence is so complete it feels almost tangible, as if you could reach out and touch it, as if it has weight and substance. But it is not an empty silence. It is full, rich, layered with the small, subtle sounds that only reveal themselves when everything else has fallen away. The fire crackles, soft and sporadic, a tiny voice speaking in a language you almost understand. Somewhere in the distance, ice groans deep within the mountain, a low, rumbling sound that you feel more than hear, a reminder of the slow, patient forces that shape this place, that grind stone into sand and carve valleys from solid rock over countless years. You listen and you wait, and after a moment, you hear it again, that distant groaning, like the mountain is shifting in its sleep, adjusting its weight, settling more deeply into the earth. It is a sound that speaks of time measured not in hours or days, but in centuries, in millennia, and it makes you feel small, but not insignificant. You are small, yes, but you are here, and that matters, somehow. The aurora pulses above you, and you tilt your head back, letting your gaze follow the line of light as it stretches from one horizon to the other. It is wider now, more expansive, no longer a single ribbon, but a curtain, a veil of light that hangs suspended in the sky. The green is still pale, still translucent, but there are hints of other colors now, subtle and fleeting. A touch of violet at the edges, a whisper of blue where the light is most intense. You wonder, idly, what causes it, this dance of light. You have heard stories, old stories, about spirits and gods and the breath of ancient dragons, but you do not know if any of them are true. Perhaps it does not matter. Perhaps the mystery is part of the beauty, part of the magic, and to understand it completely would be to lose something precious, something ineffable. So you do not question it. You simply watch, and you let it be what it is, a gift, a wonder, a moment of grace in a world that does not often pause to offer such things. The snow around you is undisturbed, smooth and perfect, and it reflects the light of the aurora in strange, shifting patterns. Shadows move across its surface, not the shadows of things, but the shadows of light itself, darker where the glow is less, brighter where it pools and gathers. It is like watching water, the way the light ripples and flows, and you find yourself mesmerized, your thoughts drifting, dissolving, becoming as soft and formless as the light itself. Your hands are warm now, tucked beneath the furs, and you flex your fingers, feeling the blood return, feeling the stiffness ease. Your face is still cold, and your nose tingles, and your ears ache slightly, but you do not mind. The contrast is pleasant, grounding, a reminder of where you are, of the thin line between comfort and exposure, between warmth and cold. You reach for another piece of wood, but then you pause, your hand hovering over the stack. The fire does not need it yet. It is still strong, still steady, and you decide to let it burn as it is, to let it find its own pace, its own rhythm. There is no rush. The night is long, and you have enough wood to last until morning and beyond. Instead, you settle back, pulling the furs up around your chin, and you close your eyes for just a moment, just to rest them, just to feel the warmth on your eyelids, the soft pressure of the cold air on your cheeks. You breathe in, slow and deep, and the air is so cold it almost burns. But it is clean, so clean, and it fills your lungs completely, expanding your chest, making you feel alive, awake, present. When you open your eyes again, the aurora has shifted. The curtain has split into 2, into 3, into a dozen separate ribbons, each one moving independently, each one tracing its own path across the sky. They weave and twist, crossing over one another, merging and separating, and the effect is hypnotic, dizzying, beautiful beyond words. You watch one ribbon in particular, following it as it curls across the sky, as it brightens and fades, as it spirals upward and then dissolves into nothing, leaving only the stars behind. And then, just when you think it is gone, it reappears, faint at first, then growing stronger, more vibrant, as if it has been reborn, as if it is beginning its dance all over again. Time continues to blur, to stretch, to lose its meaning. You are not sure anymore if you have been sitting here for an hour or for 3. The fire burns, the aurora dances, and you are held in the space between, suspended, weightless, timeless. The cold deepens. You can feel it now, pressing closer, finding the small gaps in your furs, the spaces where the fabric does not quite meet, and you adjust, tucking everything more tightly, creating a smaller, warmer cocoon. Your breath is coming more slowly now, each exhalation a soft, visible cloud, and you watch it rise, watch it mingle with the smoke from the fire, watch it disappear into the darkness above. Somewhere far below, in the valleys and forests that lie at the mountain's base, life continues. Animals move through the trees, nocturnal creatures hunting and foraging, their small dramas playing out in the darkness. But here, on the heights, there is nothing but stillness, nothing but silence, nothing but the slow, patient turning of the stars. You think about the people who built these ruins, the ones whose carvings are now barely visible beneath the snow. You wonder who they were, what they believed, what they hoped for. Did they stand here, as you are standing now, and watch the aurora dance across the sky? Did they feel the same wonder, the same awe, the same quiet gratitude? You will never know. The answers are lost, buried beneath centuries of snow and ice and time. But in this moment, you feel connected to them, across the gulf of years, connected by this place, by this mountain, by this sky. You are both travelers, both seekers, both small and temporary against the vastness of the world. The fire crackles again, and you glance down at it, checking the coals, making sure it is not dying, but it is fine, still glowing, still warm, and you leave it alone, trusting it to do what fires do, to burn and to warm and to light the darkness for as long as it can. Above, the aurora continues, tireless, endless, and you watch, and you breathe, and you are here, fully, completely, and there is nowhere else you need to be. The night holds you, the mountain holds you, the sky holds you, and you are safe. You are warm. You are at peace. Again, the light shifts. Again, the colors deepen. Again, you watch, and you wonder, and you let yourself be held by this moment, this place, this quiet, sacred night on the roof of the world. The fire glows softly. The snow dreams. The aurora whispers across the stars. And you, wrapped in furs and firelight, begin to feel the edges of sleep, tugging gently at the corners of your mind, inviting you deeper, deeper into the warm, quiet dark. But not yet. Not quite yet. There is still so much to see, so much to feel, so much to hold in this long, slow, beautiful night. And so you stay, and you watch, and you breathe, and the mountain breathes with you, and the stars turn overhead, and time forgets itself entirely. The aurora ripples again, and this time you notice something you had not seen before. There are layers to it, depths that reveal themselves only when you watch long enough, when you let your eyes adjust to the strange, luminous quality of the light. What appeared at first to be a single curtain of green is actually many curtains, some closer, some farther, some moving quickly, and others so slowly you can barely perceive their motion at all. It is like looking into water, clear water, where you can see down through multiple levels, each one distinct, each one holding its own secrets. The nearest layer is the brightest, the most vibrant, and it moves with a fluidity that seems almost liquid, pouring across the sky like silk, caught in an invisible current. Behind it, farther away, another layer glows more softly, moving in the opposite direction, and behind that, another and another, until the sky becomes a tapestry of light and depth and motion. You find yourself breathing in time with it, matching your inhales and exhales to the slow pulse of the aurora. In as the light brightens, out as it fades, in as a new ribbon unfurls, out as it dissolves into the darkness. It is unconscious, this synchronization, something your body does, without being told, as if recognizing something primal in the rhythm, something ancient, something that speaks to the oldest parts of yourself. The fire beside you has burned down even further now, the flames almost gone, leaving only the glowing coals. They pulse with their own light, deep orange and red, and occasionally a small flame flickers up, dances for a moment, and then settles back down. The heat is still there, radiating outward in gentle waves, and you hold your hands toward it, palms open, feeling the warmth seep into your skin. Your fingers are no longer stiff, no longer aching with cold, and you flex them slowly, watching the way the firelight plays across your palms, casting shadows between your fingers. The shadows are sharp and dark, and they move when you move, obedient, constant, and there is something meditative in watching them, something that quiets your mind even further. You lower your hands back beneath the furs, tucking them into the warmth there, and you settle more deeply into the bedroll. The stone beneath you is hard, unyielding, but your body has adjusted to it, has found the small concessions it can make, the ways it can soften and accommodate. You are not uncomfortable. You are simply present, simply aware of where you end and the world begins. The wind returns, but it is different now. Not the gusting, swirling wind of earlier, but a steady, patient wind, a wind that knows where it is going and is in no hurry to get there. It flows across the clearing, stirring the snow into small, swirling patterns, and you watch the crystals catch the light, watch them sparkle and dance before settling back down. The wind touches your face, cold but not bitter, and it carries with it the scent of the heights, that clean, empty scent that has no name, that cannot be compared to anything else. You close your eyes and simply feel it, the wind on your skin, the cold on your cheeks, the warmth of the furs around your body. You feel the stone beneath you, solid and eternal, and you feel the mountain itself, vast and ancient, holding you in this small pocket of shelter. You feel the night pressing down from above, the weight of the darkness, the weight of the stars, and it is not oppressive, not heavy, but comforting, like a blanket, like the furs that wrap around you. When you open your eyes again, the aurora has changed once more. The pale green has deepened, become richer, more saturated, and there are hints of rose now, delicate and fleeting, threading through the green like veins in marble. The rose appears for only a moment before fading, but then it returns, stronger, more insistent, and suddenly the entire northern sky is awash in color, green and rose and violet, all of them bleeding into one another, all of them moving, shifting, transforming. It is almost too much beauty to bear, and you feel your eyes beginning to sting, whether from the cold or from something else, you are not sure. You blink, and a single tear escapes, rolling down your cheek, and it is warm against your cold skin, and then it is gone, absorbed by the scarf wrapped around your neck. You do not wipe it away. You simply let it be, let it happen. Because sometimes beauty does this. Sometimes it cracks something open inside you, something that needs to be cracked open, something that has been held too tightly for too long. The ruins around you stand silent, patient witnesses to your small moment of vulnerability. They have seen so much, these stones, so many sunrises and sunsets, so many storms and calm days, so many travelers who have passed through and moved on. And yet they remain unchanged, enduring, and there is comfort in that, in their permanence, in the way they anchor this place to something larger than yourself. You think about the people who built them again, but this time the thought is not sad or wistful. It is simply a quiet acknowledgement of connection, of the long chain of moments and lives that have led to this one, this single night, this single breath, this single heartbeat. You are part of something larger, something that stretches backward through time and forward into the future. And for this brief moment, you are the point where past and future meet, the living, breathing present. The fire shifts, and you glance down to see that one of the logs has split, collapsing inward, sending a small shower of sparks upward into the night. The sparks rise quickly, bright orange and gold, and they swirl in the air for a moment before winking out, one by one, disappearing as if they had never existed. You watch until the last one fades, and then you reach for another piece of wood, deciding now that the fire could use it, that it is time to feed it again. The wood is cold in your hands, so cold it almost burns, and you place it carefully on the coals, adjusting it so that it will catch easily. The coals hiss and smoke where the wood touches them, and for a moment, nothing happens. Then, slowly, a small flame appears, licking at the underside of the log, testing it, tasting it. The flame grows, spreads, and soon the wood is burning, adding its warmth and light to the small circle of comfort that surrounds you. You sit back, satisfied, and pull the furs around yourself again. The air is growing colder now, deeper into the night, and you can feel it in the way your breath clouds more thickly, in the way the cold seems to press more insistently against the warmth of the fire. But you are prepared for this. You knew when you came here that the night would be cold, that the mountain does not yield its beauty easily, that there is always a price to be paid for moments like these. And it is a price you are willing to pay, gladly, without hesitation, because what you are receiving in return is beyond measure, beyond value. This night, this sky, this aurora, this silence, this peace, these are things that cannot be bought or sold, cannot be owned or possessed. They can only be witnessed, only experienced, only held for a brief, fleeting moment before they slip away, back into the vast reservoir of moments that make up a life. Above, the aurora continues its slow dance, and you watch, and you breathe, and you are here, and there is nowhere else you need to be. Time passes, though you do not measure it, do not count it. You simply let it flow, let it carry you, the way a river carries a leaf, gently, without effort. The fire burns, the stars turn, the aurora shimmers and fades and shimmers again, and you sit, wrapped in furs, watching, waiting, holding this moment as carefully as you would hold a bird, loosely, gently, knowing that to grasp too tightly would be to destroy it. The snow around the clearing is undisturbed, smooth and perfect, a blank canvas that holds no footprints but your own. The moonlight has grown stronger now, bright and cold, and it makes the snow glow, makes it seem almost alive, as if it is breathing, as if it is dreaming. The light catches on the surface crystals, turning them into tiny mirrors, and each one reflects the sky, the stars, the aurora, so that it seems as if the ground and the heavens are speaking to each other in a language of light. You notice the way the shadows fall, dark and sharp, cast by the ruins and the rocks, and the small, twisted trees that cling to the mountainside. The shadows are not frightening, not ominous, but simply part of the pattern, part of the balance, the necessary counterpoint to the light. Without them, the light would have no meaning, no context. It is the darkness that gives the light its power, its beauty, its truth. A sound breaks the silence, faint and distant, and you turn your head, listening. It comes again, a soft hooting, low and resonant, and you realize it is an owl, somewhere in the forest far below, calling out into the night. The sound carries up the mountain, clear and pure, and it seems to hang in the air for a moment before fading, absorbed by the stillness. You smile, just slightly, because the owl's call is a reminder that you are not alone, not entirely. There is life here, even in this cold, even in this darkness, and it continues, patient and persistent, following its own rhythms, its own needs. The owl hunts, the wind blows, the stars shine, and the world turns. And all of it happens, whether you are here to witness it or not. But you are here, and you are witnessing it. And that makes it mean something, at least to you. Perhaps that is all meaning ever is, in the end. The act of witnessing, the act of paying attention, the act of saying, with your presence, with your breath, with your heartbeat, I see you, I am here, this matters. The aurora brightens again, and this time it is almost overwhelming, almost too much. The entire northern sky is ablaze with light, green and violet and rose, all of them swirling together in a maelstrom of color and motion. It looks as if the sky itself is tearing open, revealing something beyond, something vast and incomprehensible and beautiful. You cannot look away, cannot even blink, because you are afraid that if you do, it will be gone, that this moment will pass and you will have missed it. And so you watch, your eyes wide, your breath caught in your throat, and you feel something inside you expanding, opening, as if your heart is growing too large for your chest. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the aurora settles, calms, returns to its gentle, steady rhythm. The colors soften, the motion slows, and the sky becomes peaceful again, serene, as if nothing had happened, as if it had all been a dream. But it was not a dream. You saw it, you felt it, and you will carry it with you. This moment, this vision, this gift, for as long as you live. You let out the breath you had been holding, and it comes out as a long, slow sigh, a release of tension you had not realized you were carrying. Your shoulders relax, your jaw unclenches, and you feel suddenly, profoundly tired, as if you have been holding yourself upright through sheer force of will, and only now, only in this moment of calm, can you finally let go. You adjust the furs around yourself, pulling them up higher, tucking them more securely, and you lean back against the stone wall, letting it take your weight. The stone is cold, so cold, but it is solid, reliable, and you let yourself rest against it, trusting it to hold you. The fire is burning low again, and you know you should add more wood, should keep it going, but you find that you do not want to move, do not want to disturb the stillness that has settled over you. The coals are still glowing, still warm, and they will last for a while yet. There is time. There is always time, here. in this place where time has no meaning. You close your eyes, just for a moment, just to rest them, and the darkness behind your eyelids is soft and comforting. You can still see the aurora, imprinted on your vision, a ghost of light that dances even when you are not looking. It is beautiful, this after image, this echo, and you let it play across the darkness. Let it fade slowly, gently, until it is gone. When you open your eyes again, you are not sure how much time has passed. A minute, an hour. The fire is still burning, the aurora is still dancing, and the night is still deep and dark and full of stars. Nothing has changed, and yet everything feels different, softer, quieter, as if the world has taken a breath and is holding it, waiting for something. You listen, and you hear the mountain breathing, slow and deep, the way glaciers breathe, the way stone breathes, in rhythms measured not in seconds, but in centuries. You hear the ice groaning far below, and you hear the wind sighing through the canyons, and you hear the snow settling, whispering as it shifts and compacts under its own weight. And beneath all of that, beneath every sound, there is silence, vast and deep and complete. The silence that underlies everything, the silence from which all sound emerges, and to which all sound returns. You close your eyes again, and this time, you do not fight it. Do not try to stay awake. You let yourself drift. Let yourself sink into the warmth of the firs, into the softness of the moment, into the embrace of the night. The aurora continues to dance above you, painting the sky in colors that have no names, and the fire glows beside you, steady and faithful, and the mountain holds you, patient and eternal, and you are safe, you are warm, you are at peace. The night deepens, the stars turn, the aurora whispers its silent song, and you, small and temporary and infinitely precious, rest beneath the sky, held by the mountain, watched over by the light, and there is nowhere else you need to be. Again, the aurora shivers. Again, the snow dreams. Again, the night holds you, gently, kindly, and you let yourself be held. And slowly, so slowly, you begin to drift, to float, to dissolve into the stillness, into the silence, into the peace that waits at the heart of all things. The fire glows, the stars shine, the mountain breathes, and you, wrapped in furs and firelight and the soft embrace of the night, begin your slow, gentle descent into sleep. But not yet, not quite yet. There is still so much to see, so much to feel, so much to hold in this long, slow, beautiful night. And so you stay, hovering on the edge of sleep, watching the aurora dance, listening to the mountain breathe, feeling the cold air on your face and the warmth of the fire on your hands. And you are here, fully, completely, and there is nowhere else you need to be. The night is long, the night is patient, the night will wait, and so will you. The cold has found new ways to reach you now, subtle and persistent. It creeps along the ground, flowing like water seeking the lowest places, and it pools around you, pressing against the edges of your warmth. You feel it most in your feet, in your toes, even through the thick wool of your socks and the insulation of your boots. It is not painful, not yet, but it is there. A reminder that the mountain's cold is patient, inexhaustible, and that your small fire, your furs, your body's heat, these are all temporary, all fragile, but you do not mind. The cold is part of this experience, part of what makes the warmth precious, part of what makes this moment real. Without the cold, the fire would be only light. Without the night, the aurora would have no canvas on which to paint its beauty. Everything is balance, everything is contrast, and you accept this, embrace it, let it be what it is. You shift your weight slightly, easing the pressure on your hip where the stone has begun to press too insistently. The movement is small, careful, and the furs rustle softly around you, the sound immediately swallowed by the vastness of the silence. You resettle, finding a new configuration of limbs and fabric and warmth, and within moments you are comfortable again, or as comfortable as one can be when sleeping on stone beneath a nau. Open sky at the top of the world. The fire has burned down once more, and this time you do reach for another piece of wood. Your hand emerges from the warmth of the furs, and the cold air bites at your exposed skin immediately, sharp and shocking. You grasp the wood quickly, feeling its weight, its solidity, and you place it on the coals with practiced care. The wood is dry, well chosen, and it catches almost immediately, the flames curling around it, embracing it, consuming it with slow, patient hunger. You watch the flames for a long moment, mesmerized by their dance, by the way they flicker and leap, by the way they cast shifting shadows across the snow and stone. Fire is such a primal thing, such an ancient companion to humanity, and yet it never loses its fascination, its ability to draw the eye and hold it, to quiet the mind and soothe the spirit. You could watch fire for hours and never grow bored, never tire of its endless variations, its constant transformation. The warmth reaches you again, spreading across your face and hands, and you close your eyes briefly, savoring it. When you open them, the aurora has shifted once more. The ribbons of light that had been dancing in the north have drifted westward, spreading across a wider expanse of sky, and now they hang above the distant peaks like luminous curtains, moving so slowly that you can barely perceive their motion unless you watch for several minutes at a time. The colors have changed too. The vibrant green has faded to something paler, more ethereal, like the color of new leaves in spring, and threaded through it now are traces of blue, cold and clear, the blue of glacial ice, the blue of winter sky just before dawn. The rose has disappeared, or perhaps it has simply retreated, waiting for another moment to reveal itself. You find yourself wondering about the science of it, the mechanism by which particles from the sun collide with the atmosphere and produce this light. You have heard explanations before, half remembered from books and conversations, but they seem inadequate now, insufficient to capture the reality of what you are witnessing. The scientific explanation is true, you know that, but it is not the whole truth. It tells you how, but not why, not what it means, not what it makes you feel. And what you feel is something beyond words, something that exists in the space between thought and emotion, between understanding and mystery. You feel small, yes, but not insignificant. You feel transient, but not meaningless. You feel connected to something vast, something ancient, something that was here long before you and will remain long after you are gone. And in that connection there is comfort, there is peace, there is a kind of quiet joy, that needs no justification, no explanation. The wind picks up again, stronger this time, and it brings with it a scattering of snow crystals, tiny and light, that swirl through the air like dust motes caught in sunlight. They catch this firelight as they fall, glittering, sparkling, each one a tiny mirror reflecting the world back at itself. Some of them land on your furs, settling into the fabric, melting slowly from your body heat, leaving small, dark spots that gradually spread and then disappear. Others land on the exposed stone, on the ruins, on the ground around the fire, and these do not melt, but simply rest there, adding to the layers that have been accumulating for hours, for days, for centuries. Snow upon snow upon snow, each flake unique, each one temporary, and yet together they build something permanent, something that shapes the very landscape, that carves valleys and fills crevasses and turns mountains into different mountains over the slow, patient march of time. You extend one hand from beneath the firs, palm up, and let the snow fall onto it. The flakes land softly, delicately, each one a tiny burst of cold against your skin. You can see them clearly in the firelight, see their intricate structures, their geometric perfection, and you marvel at the fact that something so small, so fragile, can be so beautiful, so complex. Each flake is different, you have heard, and you believe it. Looking at these, seeing the variations, the subtle differences in their crystalline structures. They begin to melt almost immediately, your body heat too much for them, and within seconds, your palm is wet, glistening with water that was, moments ago, snow, and before that, cloud, and before that, ocean. Everything is transformation, you think. Everything is change. Nothing stays the same, not even for a moment. And yet somehow, paradoxically, everything is also constant, eternal, part of the great cycle that has no beginning and no end. You pull your hand back beneath the furs, wiping it dry on the fabric, and you settle deeper into your cocoon of warmth. Your body is beginning to feel heavy now, weighted, as if gravity has increased, as if the mountain itself is pulling you down, inviting you to rest, to sleep, to surrender to the night. Your eyelids are growing heavy too, wanting to close, and you let them, just for a moment, just to rest. In the darkness behind your closed eyes, you can still see the aurora, imprinted on your vision like a photograph, like a memory already being formed. The green light, the blue light, the slow, sinuous movement across the sky. It is beautiful, even in memory, even as an echo, and you smile, just slightly, feeling grateful, feeling blessed, feeling as if you have been given a gift that you did not earn and do not deserve, but will treasure nonetheless. When you open your eyes again, the world has not changed, but you feel different, softer, more open. The fire burns, the aurora dances, the stars wheel overhead in their ancient, unchanging patterns. And you are here, witness to it all, participant in this moment, this place, this sacred, silent night. The owl calls again, closer this time, and you turn your head toward the sound. You cannot see it, not see, cannot pick out its shape against the darkness of the forest far below, but you know it is there, hunting, surviving, living its life according to rhythms that have nothing to do with you, with human concerns, with the small dramas that fill your days. There is something comforting in that, in knowing that the world continues, indifferent and impartial, that it does not need you in order to exist, to function, to be beautiful. And yet, at the same time, there is something profound in the fact that you are here to witness it, to appreciate it, to hold it in your consciousness and give it meaning, if only for yourself, if only for this moment. Perhaps that is enough. Perhaps that is all anyone can do, to witness, to appreciate, to hold the world gently in awareness and say quietly to themselves or to the universe or to nothing at all, "This is beautiful. This matters. I am grateful." The aurora pulses, a slow, gentle rhythm, and you watch as a new ribbon of light unfurls across the sky, stretching from east to west, thin and delicate at first, then growing brighter, wider, more substantial. It moves differently from the others, faster, more purposeful, and it seems to carry with it a sense of urgency, of intention, as if it is trying to reach something, to communicate something, to complete some task before it fades. But of course, it is not trying to do anything. It is not conscious, not aware, not purposeful. It simply is. The light is a byproduct of physics, of particles and energy and magnetic fields. And it means nothing, signifies nothing, intends nothing. And yet you cannot help but see purpose in it, cannot help but project meaning onto it, because that is what humans do. We are meaning-making creatures, unable to encounter the world without trying to understand it, to interpret it, to find stories in it. And maybe that is not a weakness. Maybe that is our gift, our particular way of participating in the universe. The mountain participates by being solid, by enduring. The snow participates by falling, by covering, by transforming. The aurora participates by shining, by dancing, by painting the sky. And you participate by watching, by wondering, by creating meaning where none existed before. The fire crackles, a small, sharp sound, and a log splits, collapsing into the coals. The flames leap up briefly, reaching toward the sky, and then settle back down, resuming their steady, patient burn. You watch the flames, and you think about impermanence, about the way everything is constantly falling apart, constantly decaying, constantly returning to the elements from which it came. The wood becomes ash, the snow becomes water, the mountains themselves, given enough time, become sand, become soil, become the dust from which new mountains will eventually rise. And you too are impermanent. Your body is a temporary configuration of atoms, borrowed from the universe and destined to be returned, scattered, reformed into something else. Your thoughts, your memories, your sense of self, all of it is temporary, contingent, held together by electrochemical processes that will, one day, cease. And when they do, you will disperse, return, become part of the great cycle once more. The thought is not frightening. Not here, not now, not under this sky. Here, impermanence feels right, feels natural, feels like the way things should be. Nothing lasts forever, and that is what makes each moment precious. What makes this night, this aurora, this fire, this breath matter so intensely. If it lasted forever, it would lose its value. its meaning. It is the temporary nature of beauty that makes it beautiful. You breathe in, slow and deep, and you smell the night. Pine smoke from your fire, clean and sharp. The mineral scent of snow, cold and pure. The faint, almost imperceptible smell of ozone that the Aurora seems to leave in the air, though you are not sure if that is real or imagined. And beneath it all, the smell of the mountain itself, ancient stone and glacial ice, and the thin, cold air of the heights. You breathe out, and your breath clouds before you, thick and white, and it hangs in the air for a moment before dispersing, becoming part of the atmosphere, part of the wind, part of the great cycle of air and water and life that encompasses the entire world. Your breath was inside you, part of you, and now it is outside, part of everything, and the boundary between inside and outside seems suddenly less clear, less absolute. Where do you end and the world begin? Is it at your skin? But your skin is constantly shedding cells, constantly renewing itself, and those cells become dust, become part of the environment. Is it at your breath? But your breath is just air, borrowed briefly and then returned. And the oxygen you inhale was, moments ago, exhaled by a tree, by a plant, by some other living thing. And the carbon dioxide you exhale will, moments from now, be inhaled by something else. You are not separate from the world. You are made of the world, sustained by the world, and you will, eventually, return to the world. The boundaries are illusions, convenient fictions that help you navigate daily life, but that dissolve under closer inspection, especially here, especially now, when you are so open, so quiet, so receptive. The aurora brightens, and you look up, pulled from your reverie, and you see that the sky has transformed once again. The pale green has given way to something deeper, richer, more vibrant. The blue has intensified, becoming electric, alive, and threading through it now are traces of violet, deep and mysterious, the color of twilight, the color of dreams. The ribbons of light are moving faster now, swirling, dancing, weaving intricate patterns across the sky. They fold over themselves, creating spirals and vortices, and for a moment, it looks as if the sky itself is liquid, as if you are looking up through water at light refracted and distorted by currents and waves. It is disorienting, dizzying, and you have to look away for a moment, grounding yourself by looking at the fire, at the snow, at the solid, unchanging stone of the ruins. When you look back, the aurora has calmed somewhat, but it is still brighter, still more active than it has been all night. This is the peak, you sense, the climax of the display, and you watch with renewed attention, not wanting to miss anything, wanting to absorb every detail, every nuance, every shift and shimmer. The light reflects off the snow around you, and the entire clearing glows with an otherworldly radiance. The ruins, which had seemed dark and lifeless in the ordinary night, now appear to pulse with their own inner light, as if they are remembering something, as if the stones themselves are dreaming of the time when they were new, when they were part of a living structure, when they served a purpose and were tended by human hands. You can almost imagine it, almost see it, The ruins as they once were, whole and complete, walls rising tall and strong, roofs covering what is now open to the sky, fires burning in hearths long since gone cold. You can almost hear the voices, the laughter, the sound of tools on stone, the everyday sounds of life lived in community, in purpose, in the confidence that the present moment would extend indefinitely into the future. But of course, it did not. All of that is gone now, returned to silence, to stone, to memory, so distant it has become myth, become speculation, become nothing more than patterns carved into rock that no one can read anymore. And one day, even these ruins will be gone, worn away by wind and water and time, and there will be no evidence that anyone was ever here, that anything was ever built, that human hands ever shaped this place according to human dreams. The thought is melancholy, but it is also strangely freeing. If nothing lasts, then nothing truly matters. And if nothing truly matters, then you are free to decide what matters to you, to choose meaning rather than inherit it, to create purpose rather than discover it. You are here, in this moment, by choice. You climbed this mountain by choice. You lit this fire, spread this bedroll, wrapped yourself in these furs, all by choice. And you choose now to sit here and watch the aurora and find meaning in it, find beauty in it, find peace in it. That is enough. That is more than enough. The wind has died down again, and the silence returns, deeper than before. Even the fire seems quieter now, burning with a steady, almost inaudible whisper. You can hear your own heartbeat, slow and regular, a rhythm that has been with you since before you were born and will be with you until the moment you die. You can hear the blood moving through your veins, a soft, rushing sound like distant water. You are so still now, so quiet, that you feel almost invisible, almost as if you have disappeared, as if your boundaries have dissolved entirely, and you are no longer a separate thing, but simply part of the landscape, part of the mountain, part of the night. And in that dissolution, there is a strange, unexpected joy, a sense of relief, of letting go, of finally being able to stop holding yourself together, stop maintaining the illusion of separateness, stop pretending that you are anything other than a temporary pattern in the vast, seamless web of existence. The aurora swirls above you, and you swirl with it, and the distinction between watcher and watched disappears, and there is only watching, only being, only this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this perfect, eternal now. Time stops. Or perhaps it never existed in the first place. Perhaps it is only another illusion, another convenient fiction, and the truth is that all moments exist simultaneously, eternally, and you are simply moving your attention from one to another, creating the illusion of sequence, of cause and effect, of past and future. But here, now, there is no past, there is no future, there is only this, only the fire, the snow, the stars, the aurora, only the mountain breathing, the night holding, the silence singing its wordless song, and you, no longer separate, no longer alone, dissolving into the everything, the all, the vast and infinite now. The fire glows, the The stars turn, the aurora dances, and you are here, and you are not here. And it doesn't matter which, because both are true, both are false, and the truth is something larger than language can hold, larger than thought can contain. You close your eyes, and the aurora continues to dance behind your eyelids, and you know that it will always be there, that it has always been there, that it is not something you see, but something you are, something woven into the fabric of your being, into the deepest structure of your consciousness. You are made of starlight. You are made of snow. You are made of stone and wind and time and silence. You are the mountain dreaming itself awake. You are the night watching itself pass. You are the aurora, dancing alone in the dark. The fire has burned down to embers now, a bed of glowing coals that pulse with deep, steady warmth. The flames are nearly gone, only the occasional flicker dancing across the surface when a pocket of gas ignites and burns away in an instant. The heat is different now, less immediate, less fierce, but somehow more comforting, more reliable. It radiates outward in gentle, consistent waves, and you hold your hands toward it, feeling the warmth soak into your palms, into your fingers, into the bones beneath the skin. You should add more wood. You know this. The night is far from over, and the cold is deepening with each passing hour, settling over the mountain like a physical presence, patient and inexorable. But you find yourself reluctant to move, reluctant to disturb the stillness that has settled over you, that has seeped into your muscles and your mind until you feel heavy, anchored, rooted to this spot, as surely as the ruins are rooted to the stone. So you wait. You watch the coals glow and fade and glow again, each one holding its tiny sun, its miniature inferno, burning away the last essence of the wood that was once a tree, that once stood in a forest far below, that once reached toward the sky with branches and leaves and the patient ambition of growing things. Now it is heat and light and ash, transformed, returned, completing its cycle. The aurora has settled into a gentler rhythm now, the frenetic energy of earlier replaced by something slower, more contemplative. The ribbons of light stretch across the northern sky in long, languid curves, moving so slowly that you can watch one section for minutes at a time and barely perceive any change. And yet, when you look away and then look back, everything has shifted, the patterns completely different, as if the sky has been repainted in your absence. The colors are softer now too. The vibrant greens and electric blues have faded to pastels, to whispers of color that seem to exist right at the edge of visibility, as if the aurora is beginning to tire, beginning to consider rest. There is still violet threaded through the light, but it is a tired violet, a gentle violet, the color of lavender fields at dusk, the color of shadows and snow. You watch as one ribbon slowly folds over itself, creating a loop, a curl, and then gradually straightens again. The movement so slow it seems geological, seems to operate on the same time scale as the mountain itself. Watching it, you feel your own sense of time continuing to stretch, to elongate, until minutes feel like hours, and hours feel like days. And you lose all sense of how long you have been sitting here, how long the night has lasted, how long you have been watching the sky. It could be midnight, it could be 3 a.m, it could be just before dawn. You have no way of knowing, and you discover that you do not care. The time is irrelevant. What matters is this moment, and this moment, and this moment, each one identical, and each one unique, each one eternal, and each one fleeting. Your body is beginning to make its needs known now. Small discomforts that you have been ignoring, but that are becoming harder to dismiss. Your lower back aches slightly from sitting in one position for so long. Your neck is stiff, tight from tilting your head back to watch the sky. Your feet are cold now, truly cold. The kind of cold that has moved beyond sensation and into numbness, and you wiggle your toes inside your boots, trying to encourage circulation, trying to bring feeling back. The discomforts are not severe, not alarming, but they are reminders that you have a body, that you are not simply consciousness floating free, but are anchored to flesh and bone and all the limitations that come with physical existence. And there is something grounding in that, something that pulls you back from the edge of dissolution, that reminds you of who and what you are. You are a person. You are sitting on a mountain. You are watching the Aurora. These are simple facts, concrete and undeniable, and they tether you to reality, to the ordinary world, even as you float on the edges of something extraordinary. You shift your position carefully, slowly, easing the pressure on your spine. The movement sends small twinges through your muscles, but they are not unpleasant, just signals from your body that it is alive, that it is doing its job of keeping you warm and safe and functional. You roll your shoulders, feeling the tension there, and then you settle again, finding a new configuration that is, for the moment, more comfortable. The furs have shifted during your movement, and you take a moment to rearrange them, pulling them back up around your shoulders, tucking the edges more securely around your legs. The wool is warm from your body heat, and it holds that warmth close, creating a microclimate of comfort that exists in defiance of the surrounding cold. You are grateful for these furs, for the animals who gave their warmth so that you could borrow it, so that you could survive in places where your species was not designed to thrive. Everything is borrowed, you think. Your warmth, your breath, your life itself. All of it is borrowed from the universe, held temporarily and destined to be returned. You are a custodian, not an owner, and there is something humble and beautiful in that realization, something that makes you feel both small and precious, both insignificant and essential. The wind returns, but it is different now. Not the steady, patient wind of earlier, and not the gusting, swirling wind of afternoon, but something else entirely. It comes in long, slow breaths, exhaling across the mountain, and then pausing, holding, before inhaling again. It is as if the mountain itself is breathing, as if you can feel its lungs expanding and contracting, can feel its slow, ancient metabolism at work. With each breath of wind comes a sound, low and resonant, almost below the threshold of hearing. It is the sound of air moving through canyons and over ridges, the sound of wind finding its way through the countless cracks and crevices in the stone, and it creates a kind of music, a deep, thrumming note that you feel as much as hear. It vibrates in your chest, in your bones, and it seems to sync with your own heartbeat, with your own breath, until you cannot tell where the mountain ends and you begin. You close your eyes and simply listen, letting the sound fill you, letting it resonate through your body. It is a sound that has been here for millennia, that has played across this mountain since long before humans walked the earth, and it will continue long after humans are gone. It is the voice of the mountain, the song of the stone. And you are privileged to hear it, privileged to be here, privileged to bear witness. When you open your eyes again, you notice something you had not seen before. The snow around the clearing is not uniform, not smooth and featureless as it had appeared in the darkness. Now, with the combined light of the aurora, the moon, and the embers of your fire, you can see patterns in it, textures and variations that reveal the hidden complexity beneath the apparent simplicity. There are small drifts where the wind has pushed the snow into wave-like formations, each one frozen in place, each one a record of wind direction and speed and duration. There are places where the snow is compressed, packed down by its own weight, or by the passage of some animal, some creature that crossed here hours or days ago, leaving only the faintest impression. And there are places where the snow is pristine, untouched, perfect, each crystal sitting exactly where it fell, undisturbed by wind or animal or anything else. You find yourself looking for tracks, for signs of life, but you see none. No rabbits, no foxes, no mountain goats. Either they have not passed this way, or the snow has covered their passage, erasing all evidence of their existence. You are alone here, or at least as alone as one can be on a living mountain, surrounded by sleeping creatures and growing things and the slow, patient work of geology. But perhaps alone is the wrong word. Perhaps solitary is better, because you do not feel lonely, do not feel isolated or cut off. You feel connected, woven into the fabric of this place, part of the ecosystem, part of the landscape. You are not separate from the mountain. You are a temporary feature of it, like the snow, like the wind, like the aurora itself. The aurora shifts again, and you look up to see that new colors are emerging now, colors you have not seen all night. There is yellow, pale and subtle, like candlelight filtered through paper. There is orange, just a hint of it, threading through the green like copper wire through jade. And there, at the very edge of visibility, is red, deep and dark and mysterious, appearing and disappearing so quickly you are not entirely sure you saw it at all. The red appears again, stronger this time, and it spreads across the northern horizon like a stain, like blood in water, beautiful and unsettling at the same time. It is rare, you know, to see red aurora. It requires specific conditions, specific energies, and it usually appears only during the most intense displays. That you are seeing it now, here, on this night, feels like another gift, another blessing, another reason to be grateful. The red deepens, intensifies, and for a brief, glorious moment, the entire northern sky is awash in crimson light, deep and rich and saturated. It looks like the sky is on fire, like the heavens themselves are burning, and the effect is so dramatic, so overwhelming, that you gasp, actually gasp, the sound loud in the silence. And then, as quickly as it appeared, the red fades, draining away like water through sand, leaving behind only the familiar green, only the comfortable, expected colors of the aurora. You blink, wondering if you imagined it, but no, you did not. It was real. It happened. And you will carry that image, that moment of crimson sky, for the rest of your life. Your hands are cold now, and you tuck them more deeply beneath the furs, pressing them against your chest, where your body heat is strongest. The warmth feels good, reassuring, and you hold them there for a long moment, letting the feeling return, letting the blood flow back into fingers that had begun to stiffen. You know you should add wood to the fire. You have been putting it off, reluctant to move, but the coals are fading now, the glow dimming, and if you wait much longer, there will not be enough heat left to easily ignite new wood. You will have to rebuild the fire from scratch, and that prospect is unappealing, requiring effort and attention that you would rather not expend. So you move, finally, reluctantly. You extract one arm from the furs, and the cold air hits it immediately, shocking after the warmth of your cocoon. You reach for the stack of firewood, selecting 2 pieces that are the right size, dry and well seasoned, and you place them carefully on the coals, positioning them so they will catch easily, so they will burn efficiently. For a long moment, nothing happens. The wood sits there, dark and inert, and you begin to worry that the coals are too far gone, that you have waited too long. But then, just as you are about to give up, a small tendril of smoke rises from one of the logs. It grows thicker, darker, and then suddenly there is flame, small and tentative at first, but growing quickly, spreading along the underside of the wood, licking upward, finding purchase. Within moments, both logs are burning, and the fire has returned, not as fierce as before, but warm and alive and reassuring. The flames cast dancing shadows across the snow, across the ruins, across your face, and you feel the heat on your skin, feel it pushing back the cold, reclaiming the small circle of warmth that is your temporary home. You settle back, pulling your arm back beneath the furs, and you watch the new fire establish itself, watch it find its rhythm. There is something deeply satisfying about this, about the simple act of maintaining a fire, of keeping the light and warmth alive through the long, dark hours. It is one of the oldest human skills, one of the first technologies, and it connects you to every ancestor who ever sat by a fire and watched the night pass, who ever felt grateful for warmth and light in the darkness. The Aurora continues above, indifferent to your small domestic drama, to your small human needs. It dances to its own rhythm, follows its own laws, beautiful and terrible, and completely unconcerned with whether you are watching or not. And there is something freeing in that, in knowing that the universe does not revolve around you, does not adjust itself to accommodate your presence. You are incidental, optional, a brief observer passing through, and the show will continue long after you are gone. But you are here now. That is what matters. You are here, and you are watching, and you are participating in the only way a human can, by bearing witness, by paying attention, by choosing to be present rather than absent, awake rather than asleep, engaged rather than indifferent. The night deepens around you, and you feel yourself sinking more deeply into the stillness, into the silence, into the vast, patient rhythm of the mountain. Your breathing has slowed, matching the slow pulse of the Aurora, and your heartbeat has quieted, and your thoughts have become softer, less insistent, like whispers rather than shouts. You are approaching the edge of sleep now. You can feel it, that liminal space between waking and dreaming, where the boundaries blur and consciousness becomes fluid, malleable, strange. But you are not quite ready to surrender, not quite ready to let go. There is still so much to see, still so much to feel, still so much beauty pouring down from the sky, that to sleep would be to miss it, to turn away from a gift that is being offered freely, without condition. So you hold yourself in that space, balanced on the knife edge between alertness and drowsiness, present and absent at the same time. Your eyes remain open, but they are heavy, so heavy, and you have to blink often to keep them from closing entirely. Your body is warm and comfortable, wrapped in furs, held by the mountain, and it wants to rest, wants to sleep, wants to surrender to the deep, dreamless dark that waits beneath consciousness. But not yet. Not quite yet. Just a little longer. Just a few more moments of this perfect, eternal now. The fire burns. The stars turn. The aurora dances its slow, silent dance. And you watch, and you breathe, and you hold this moment gently, carefully, knowing it cannot last, knowing it is already passing, knowing that all you can do is be here, fully, completely, for as long as you are able. The cold presses closer, the warmth holds it back, and between the two, in that narrow space, you exist, alive and aware and grateful beyond measure. The night holds you, the mountain holds you, the sky holds you, and you let yourself be held, trusting, surrendering, allowing. The aurora ripples, the snow dreams, the stone remembers, and you, small and temporary and infinitely precious, rest in the embrace of the eternal, watching the sky paint itself in colors that have no names, listening to the mountain breathe, feeling the slow turn of the stars overhead. This is peace. This is home. This is exactly where you need to be. And slowly, so slowly, the edges of sleep begin to soften, to blur, to welcome you in. But not yet. Not quite yet. There is still so much beauty left to witness. There is still so much night left to hold. There is still so much light left to watch as it dances and fades and dances again. The fire has found its rhythm now, a steady, gentle burning that requires nothing from you, that simply continues on its own, patient and self-sufficient. The flames are low, barely reaching above the wood, but they are constant, unwavering, and the heat they produce is exactly enough, exactly right, neither too much nor too little. You have achieved a kind of equilibrium, a balance between the cold and the warmth, between the darkness and the light, and in that balance, there is a deep, abiding comfort. Your body has adjusted to the stone beneath you, has made its accommodations and compromises, and what was uncomfortable an hour ago is now simply neutral, simply accepted. You are no longer fighting the hardness, no longer resisting it, and in that surrender there is relief, there is ease. The stone supports you, holds you, and you trust it to continue doing so through the long hours ahead. The aurora has entered a new phase, something quieter, something more introspective. The ribbons of light have narrowed, thinned, become delicate threads stretching across the sky rather than broad curtains. They move even more slowly now, drifting rather than dancing. And the colors have faded to the palest green, so pale it is almost white, almost indistinguishable from starlight, except for the way it moves, the way it flows. You watch these threads weave and unweave, creating patterns that exist for only moments before dissolving into new patterns. And there is something hypnotic about it, something that draws your mind into a kind of trance, a state of consciousness that is neither fully awake nor fully asleep, but something in between, something that has no name in any language, you know. In this state, time becomes even more fluid, even more elastic. You lose track of individual moments, individual breaths, and instead experience the night as a continuous flow, a river of experience that carries you along without effort, without resistance. You are not watching the aurora anymore, so much as you are the aurora, are the night, are the mountain, are the cold air, and the warm fire, and the ancient stone. The boundaries have dissolved completely now, and there is only this, only being, only the vast, seamless present. A sound reaches you from far away, so far you cannot identify its source. It might be ice cracking deep within a glacier, the sound traveling through the mountain itself, through solid stone, arriving here as a faint, low rumble that you feel in your chest more than hear with your ears. Or it might be an avalanche, somewhere on a distant peak, tons of snow breaking free and tumbling down a slope you cannot see, creating a roar that distance has reduced to a whisper. Or it might be nothing, might be your imagination, might be the sound of your own blood moving through your veins, amplified by the silence until it seems to come from outside rather than inside. You cannot tell, and it does not matter. The sound is there, and then it is gone, and the silence returns, deeper than before, as if the mountain has swallowed the sound, absorbed it, made it part of itself. Your breathing has become so slow now, so shallow that you can barely feel it, barely notice the rise and fall of your chest beneath the furs. Each breath takes forever, each inhale drawing in the cold, clean air, each exhale releasing it back into the night. You breathe in starlight, breathe out mist. You breathe in silence, breathe out peace. You breathe in the mountain, breathe out yourself, until there is no difference, until breath is just another form of exchange, another way of participating in the endless cycle of giving and receiving that underlies all existence. The moon has moved across the sky, though you did not notice it happening, did not see it shift position. It hangs now over the western peaks, lower than before, larger, its light softer, warmer, as if it too is growing tired, as if it too is preparing for rest. The moonlight casts long shadows across the snow, shadows that stretch toward you, reaching, almost, but not quite touching the circle of firelight that surrounds you. In those shadows, shapes seem to form and dissolve, tricks of light and darkness that suggest forms, presences, things that might be there or might be imagined. You see what might be a figure standing at the edge of the clearing, tall and still, watching you. But when you blink, when you focus your eyes, there is nothing there, only shadow, only the natural play of light on snow and stone. And you are not frightened, not disturbed, because you understand now that this place is full of presences, full of memories, full of the accumulated weight of all the time that has passed here, all the lives that have been lived here, all the stories that have unfolded beneath this sky. The ruins hold those stories, locked in stone, and they leak out sometimes, especially at night, especially in liminal moments like this, when consciousness is fluid and boundaries are thin. You can feel them around you, these old stories, these old lives, not threatening, not malevolent, just present, just there, sharing this space with you for a little while, before fading back into the stone, back into memory, back into the vast repository of all things that have been. You close your eyes, and the Aurora is still there, imprinted on your retinas, glowing against the darkness of your closed eyelids. It has become part of you now, woven into your nervous system, into your memory, into the deepest structures of your brain. You will carry it with you when you leave this place, carry it with you for the rest of your life. And sometimes, in quiet moments, in times of stress or sorrow, or simply ordinary existence, you will close your eyes and see it again. This Aurora, this night, this mountain, and you will remember what it felt like to be here, to be held by this place, to be part of something larger than yourself. The fire shifts, a log settling deeper into the coals, and the movement sends up a small shower of sparks. They rise quickly, bright orange points of light ascending into the darkness, and they seem to join the stars for just a moment before winking out, before disappearing, before returning to nothing. You watch them rise and fade, and you think about how everything is like that. Everything is rising and fading, appearing and disappearing, existing briefly in the light before returning to the darkness from which it came. But while it exists, while it burns, while it shines, what beauty, what grace, what perfect, transient glory. The sparks are no less beautiful for being temporary, no less precious for being brief. If anything, their brevity makes them more beautiful, more precious, because you know you will never see these exact sparks again, never witness this exact pattern of light and motion and fading. It is unique, unrepeatable, and therefore sacred in its own small way. Your hands are warm now, tucked against your body, and you can feel your pulse in your fingertips, slow and steady, the rhythm of life continuing, patient and reliable. Your heart beats, your blood flows, your cells go about their quiet work of maintaining, repairing, sustaining. Your body is taking care of you, asking nothing in return, simply doing what bodies do, what they have evolved to do over millions of years, keeping you alive, keeping you functional, keeping you here. And you feel a sudden wave of gratitude for your body, for its competence, for its patience, for the way it continues to function even when you ignore it, even when you take it for granted, even when you push it beyond its comfort zone as you have done tonight, bringing it to this cold, high place and asking it to endure, to survive, to thrive. Your body has done all of that, has met every challenge, and it deserves your thanks, your appreciation, your respect. You move slightly, adjusting the furs, and you notice that your movements are slower now, heavier, as if you are moving through water rather than air. Your limbs feel distant, disconnected, as if they belong to someone else, and you have to concentrate to make them obey your intentions. This is exhaustion, you recognize, deep exhaustion that has crept up on you so gradually you did not notice it arriving. Your body is tired, so tired, and it wants rest, wants sleep, wants to surrender to the darkness and let consciousness slip away. But your mind is still alert, still watching, still reluctant to let go. There is a tension between what your body wants and what your mind wants, and you hover in that tension, pulled in two directions at once, unable to fully commit to either waking or sleeping. The aurora resolves the tension for you. It brightens suddenly, unexpectedly, flaring across the sky in a burst of green and violet that is so vivid, so intense, that it commands your full attention, that pulls you back from the edge of sleep and anchors you firmly in the present moment. The ribbons of light expand, multiply, filling the entire northern sky with color and motion, and the display is so beautiful, so overwhelming, that you forget your exhaustion, forget your discomfort, forget everything except the need to watch, to witness, to be here for this. The aurora swirls and dances faster now, more energetic, as if it has saved its strength for this final display, this last great performance before the night ends and dawn begins its slow approach. The colors shift and change with every second, green giving way to blue, blue giving way to violet, violet giving way to rose. And through it all runs a thread of white light so bright it almost hurts to look at. A river of pure luminescence that connects earth to sky, matter to energy, the temporary to the eternal. You watch with eyes wide, with breath held, with every fiber of your being focused on this moment, this display, this gift. You are fully awake now, fully present, and you understand that this is what you came here for. This is what you climbed the mountain to see. This is the reward for all the cold, all the discomfort, all the effort. This is the culmination, the crescendo, the moment when everything comes together in perfect, transcendent beauty. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the display softens, calms, returns to the gentle, understated dancing that has characterized most of the night. The intense colors fade back to pale green. The rapid motion slows, and the aurora resumes its patient, timeless rhythm, as if nothing had happened, as if that burst of intensity was just a dream, just your imagination. But you know it was real. Your heart is racing, your breath coming quickly, and you feel electrified, energized, as if you have been charged by the same forces that power the aurora itself. The exhaustion is still there, waiting, but it has been pushed back, held at bay by the adrenaline, by the wonder, by the sheer exhilaration of having witnessed something so extraordinary. Slowly, gradually, your heart rate returns to normal. Your breathing slows. The energy begins to drain away, and the exhaustion returns, stronger than before, insistent, undeniable. Your body has used its reserves, has given you what you needed to stay awake for that last display, and now it is demanding payment, demanding rest, demanding that you finally surrender to sleep. And this time, you do not resist. You let it come, let it wash over you, let it carry you down into the warm, dark depths. Your eyes close, and you do not try to open them. Your thoughts scatter, fragment, dissolve into incoherence. Your awareness narrows, focusing inward, retreating from the external world and into the interior landscape of dreams and rest. The fire continues to burn, though you are no longer watching it. The aurora continues to dance, though you are no longer witnessing it. The mountain continues to breathe, The stars continue to turn. The night continues to unfold. All of it happening without you, without your participation, without your awareness. And that is right. That is how it should be. The world does not need you in order to exist, to function, to be beautiful. It will continue long after you are gone, indifferent and magnificent. And there is profound peace in accepting that, in knowing that your presence is not required, that you are free to rest, to let go, to simply be without effort or intention. Your last conscious thought before sleep claims you completely is one of gratitude. Gratitude for this night, for this mountain, for this sky, for this aurora, for the fire that kept you warm, and the stone that held you, and the furs that protected you. Gratitude for your body, for carrying you here, for enduring the cold and the discomfort, and for continuing to function through it all. Gratitude for consciousness itself, for the ability to witness, to appreciate, to find meaning and beauty in the raw facts of existence. And then even gratitude fades, and there is only darkness, only warmth, only the deep, dreamless peace of true rest. The fire glows softly in the darkness, a small sun in the vast night, and the embers pulse with a rhythm that echoes your heartbeat, your breath, the slow, patient circulation of blood through veins, of life through a body that has finally, blessedly, found rest. The aurora continues its dance, though your eyes are closed and you cannot see it. The ribbons of light weave and unweave, creating patterns that no one witnesses, that exist only for themselves, only for the joy of existing. Green fades to pale blue fades to violet, violet fades to green again, an endless cycle, a cosmic rhythm that has played out for billions of years and will continue for billions more. The stars wheel overhead, marking the slow passage of hours that you do not measure, do not count. Constellations shift position, rising in the east, setting in the west, following paths laid down by physics and gravity and the spinning of the earth on its axis. Some of the stars you can see are already dead, their light traveling across such vast distances that it takes years, centuries, millennia to reach this mountain, to illuminate this snow, to shine down on your sleeping form. You are being watched by ghosts, by echoes, by light from stars that burned out long before humans evolved, long before the earth was formed, and yet their light continues, traveling through the void, a messenger from the deep past arriving in the present moment to tell you that once, somewhere, something existed, something burned, something shone. The moon continues its descent toward the western horizon, growing larger and more golden as it approaches the mountains. Its light bathes the clearing in a warm, honeyed glow, and the snow seems to respond, to absorb the color, to reflect it back, softened and diffused. Everything is golden now, touched by moonlight, made precious and strange by the angle of illumination, by the quality of light that exists only in these liminal hours, these in-between times when one day has ended, but the next has not yet begun. The wind picks up again, colder now, sharper, carrying with it the promise of dawn, the hint of change. It stirs the snow around the clearing, creating small, swirling patterns, miniature cyclones that spin and dance, for a moment before collapsing, before the snow settles once more. The wind touches your face, finds the small spaces where the furs do not quite cover you, and it presses against your skin, cold, but not cruel, simply present, simply doing what wind does. But you do not wake, you do not stir. You are deep now, far below the surface of consciousness, in a place where external stimuli cannot reach you, where the cold and the wind and the light are irrelevant, where there is only the deep, dark, nurturing void of sleep. Your body continues its work, continues to breathe, to circulate blood, to maintain temperature, but it does so automatically, without your participation, without your awareness. Your dreams, if you have them, are formless, abstract, more sensation than narrative. You dream of falling, but it is not frightening, not uncontrolled. It is simply sinking, descending gently through layers of warmth and darkness. You dream of light, but it is not the aurora, not anything specific, just light in the abstract, glowing, pulsing, rhythmic. You dream of sound, deep and resonant, the voice of the mountain, the song of the stone, but there are no words, no meaning, just vibration, just presence. And beneath all of these fragmentary dreams, there is a deeper stillness, a place beyond dreams, beyond thought, beyond consciousness itself, a place of pure rest, pure being, where you exist without existing, where you are and are not simultaneously, where the distinction between self and other, between subject and object, between dreamer and dream, dissolves completely, and there is only the vast, undifferentiated field of existence itself. Hours pass. The moon sets, disappearing behind the western peaks, and the darkness deepens for a time, becomes more complete. Only the stars provide a light now, and the faint glow of the aurora, which has not stopped, has not rested, which continues its patient vigil over the sleeping mountain, over the sleeping world. The fire burns lower, the flames gone completely now, only the coals remaining, and even they are fading, their glow diminishing as they cool, as they give up their heat to the night. Soon they will be ash, will be nothing, and the cold will reclaim the clearing, will erase the small bubble of warmth that your fire created. But that has not happened yet. The coals still glow, still hold heat, still maintain their small defiance against the vast, patient cold of the mountain night. And in that glow, in that fading warmth, you sleep, protected, held, safe in the embrace of fir and stone and the simple, ancient magic of fire. Your body slowly cools, matching its temperature more closely to the environment, but it remains warm enough, functional enough, surviving through the coldest hours of the night with the palm reserves it has built, with the insulation you have provided, with the shelter of the stone wall at your back. The aurora shifts again, as it has shifted countless times while you slept. The pale green intensifies, deepens, becomes richer, more saturated. New ribbons unfurl across the sky, moving with that same slow, patient grace, weaving patterns that change every second, every moment, never the same twice. The light reflects off the snow, off the ice, off the ancient stone of the ruins, and everything glows with that otherworldly green luminescence, that light that seems to come from beyond the world, from some other realm where physics operates differently, where beauty is the fundamental law. If you were awake, you would be transfixed. You would watch with wonder, with awe, with that same deep gratitude that filled you earlier. But you are not awake, and the Aurora dances unseen, unwitnessed, existing purely for itself, purely for the joy of existing. And there is something profound in that, something that speaks to the essential nature of beauty, that it does not require an audience, does not require appreciation or validation or acknowledgement. It simply is. Time continues its slow, inexorable march. The stars turn, the earth spins, the mountain breathes, and somewhere, far to the east, beyond dozens of mountain ranges, beyond the horizon itself, the sun is approaching, is gathering its strength, is preparing to rise and flood the world with light once more. But that is still hours away. For now, the night persists, deep and dark and full of stars. For now, the aurora dances, painting the sky with light that has traveled from the sun, has been caught by the Earth's magnetic field, has been transformed into this beautiful, ephemeral display. For now, you sleep, held by the mountain, warmed by your fire, protected by your furs, safe in this small pocket of shelter that you have created in the vast wilderness. The night holds you, the mountain holds you, the sky holds you, and in the holding there is peace, there is rest, there is the deep, abiding comfort of knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, that you have done exactly what you needed to do, that there is nothing more required of you except to be here, to breathe, to exist, to let the night carry you through to morning. The cold deepens, the stars shine, the aurora ripples across the sky, and you sleep deeply, peacefully, held in the embrace of the eternal, watched over by light from ancient stars, protected by the patient, enduring presence of the mountain itself. This is rest. This is peace. This is the reward for the climb, for the cold, for the effort. This is home, here, now, on the roof of the world, beneath an aurora that dances only for itself, only for the joy of dancing. And in the morning, you will wake, and the world will be new, and the memory of this night will be with you always, woven into the fabric of your being, a thread of light and cold and beauty that can never be removed, never be forgotten, never be anything less than precious. But that is tomorrow. That is the future. For now, there is only this, the deep, dreamless dark, the slow pulse of breath, the steady beat of heart, the mountain breathing with you, the stars turning overhead, and the aurora, always the aurora, dancing its silent dance across the infinite sky. Sleep, rest, be held. The night will pass, morning will come, but for now, there is only this perfect, eternal now, this moment of absolute peace, this gift of rest earned through patience and presence, and the simple act of being here, of choosing to witness, of saying yes to beauty, yes to cold, yes to effort, yes to all of it. The fire glows, the snow dreams, the mountain remembers, and you, wrapped in furs, held by stone, watched over by light from ancient stars, Sleep, the deep, peaceful sleep of one who has found what they were seeking, even if they did not know what it was until they found it. Peace, rest, home, here, now, always. The darkness deepens, becomes absolute, as the last traces of moonlight vanish behind the western peaks. This is the deepest hour of night, the time when the world holds its breath, when even the wind stills, when silence becomes so complete it feels like a presence, like something alive and aware and patient. The Aurora is the only light now, the only thing that illuminates this high, cold place, and it casts strange, shifting shadows that move without reference to any solid object, that seem to exist independently, to have their own life, their own purpose. You continue to sleep, unaware of the darkness, unaware of the silence, unaware of the cold that has settled over the mountain like a thick blanket, pressing down, seeping into every crack and crevice, claiming everything for itself. But your body knows. Your body feels the cold, registers it, responds to it, working harder to maintain its core temperature, to keep the vital organs functioning, to preserve the delicate balance that separates life from death, warmth from cold, consciousness from the void. Your breathing has slowed even further, each breath now so shallow, so infrequent, that it seems almost as if you have stopped breathing altogether, but you haven't. The breath continues, patient and automatic, drawing in the thin, cold air and extracting from it the oxygen your cells need, releasing the carbon dioxide they produce, participating in the ancient exchange that has kept life alive for billions of years, across countless worlds, in conditions far more hostile than this. The furs around you have shifted slightly as you moved in your sleep, seeking comfort, seeking warmth. Small gaps have appeared, places where the cold air can sneak in, and it does, patient and opportunistic, finding your shoulder, your neck, the side of your face. Your body responds by drawing inward, by curling into itself, by making itself smaller, reducing the surface area exposed to the cold, conserving heat, conserving energy, conserving life. The fire is almost gone now. The coals have faded from bright orange to dull red, and even that red is dimming, cooling, losing its battle against the vast, patient cold of the mountain. Soon, there will be nothing left but ash, grey and lifeless, and the cold will reclaim the space completely, will erase all evidence that fire ever existed here, that warmth ever pushed back against it. But not yet. The coals still glow, faintly, barely visible, but they glow. They still produce heat, a small, failing warmth that reaches out no more than a few inches before dissipating, before being absorbed by the cold. It is not much, but it is something, and it makes a difference, however small, however temporary. It keeps the air around you just slightly warmer than it would otherwise be, and that slight warmth, that barely perceptible difference, might be enough. Might be the difference between comfort and suffering, between sleep and waking, between safety and danger. Above, the Aurora has entered another phase. Something gentler, something that feels like a lullaby, like a mother's soft voice singing a child to sleep. The ribbons of light move so slowly now that they seem almost stationary, frozen in place, and only by watching for many minutes Can you detect their motion, their slow drift across the sky? The colors have softened to the palest green, almost white, almost indistinguishable from starlight, except for the way they glow, the way they seem to emanate from within, rather than reflect from without. The stars around the Aurora seem brighter now, sharper, as if the Aurora's dimming has allowed them to assert themselves, to reclaim their dominance of the night sky. They are everywhere, countless, infinite, more stars than anyone could count in a lifetime, more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of the world. They fill the sky from horizon to horizon, unfiltered by atmosphere, undiminished by distance, each one a sun, each one a world, each one a story being told in light and time and space. You are surrounded by suns. You are sleeping beneath an ocean of fire, of fusion, of matter, being transformed into energy according to laws laid down at the beginning of time. Laws that govern everything, that make the universe possible, that allow stars to shine and planets to form, and life to emerge from lifeless matter and consciousness, to arise from mere complexity. And you are part of that. You are made of star stuff, as the saying goes, every atom in your body forged in the heart of ancient stars, in supernovae that exploded billions of years ago, that scattered their matter across the cosmos, that seeded the clouds of gas and dust from which new stars would form, from which planets would coalesce, from which eventually, improbably, miraculously, you would emerge. The iron in your blood was forged in the heart of a dying star. The calcium in your bones was created in a supernova explosion. The oxygen you breathe was produced by countless generations of stars living and dying and living again. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos, organized into a temporary pattern, given the gift of consciousness, allowed to look out at the universe and recognize itself, to see stars and know what they are, to feel connection and know that it is real. But you do not know this now, not consciously. These thoughts belong to waking, to the analytical mind, to the part of you that processes and categorizes and understands. In sleep, you know in a different way, in a way that has no words, no concepts, only feeling, only presence, only being. You know it the way the mountain knows it, the way the stone knows it, the way everything that exists knows it, simply by existing, simply by participating, simply by being here. The cold continues to deepen. It is not a gentle cold anymore, not a cold that can be dismissed or ignored. It is a cold that demands recognition, that insists on being acknowledged, that presses against every exposed surface and seeks entrance, seeks to equalize, to bring everything to the same temperature, the temperature of the void, of empty space, of the darkness between the stars. Your body responds by shivering, a small, involuntary movement, muscles contracting rapidly to generate heat. It happens without your awareness, without your permission, an ancient reflex that has kept your ancestors alive through countless winters, countless cold nights, countless moments when warmth was scarce and death from exposure was a real and present threat. The shivering generates heat, just enough to offset some of the loss, just enough to maintain the core temperature within safe limits. But shivering costs energy, burns calories, depletes reserves. your body cannot shiver forever. Eventually, it will exhaust its fuel, will run out of energy, and then the cold will win, will claim you, will draw you down into hypothermia, into unconsciousness, into the final sleep from which there is no waking. But that is not happening now, not yet. Your reserves are sufficient, your insulation is adequate, your shelter is working. You are cold, yes, but you are not in danger, not truly, not yet. The aurora pulses, a slow, gentle rhythm that seems to match your heartbeat, your breath, the slow circulation of blood through your body. It brightens slightly, dims slightly, brightens again, as if breathing, as if alive, as if aware of you sleeping beneath it and keeping watch, keeping vigil, ensuring that you are not alone, that you are not abandoned, that something beautiful remains in the darkness, remains in the cold, remains to remind you why you came here, why you climbed this mountain, why you chose to spend this night in this high, cold place. Green light washes across the snow, across the ruins, across your sleeping form, and everything glows with that ethereal luminescence, that light that seems to come from dreams, from memory, from some other world where physics is gentler, where beauty is not the exception but the rule, where everything exists in harmony, in balance, in peace. The ruins look different in this light, less broken, less abandoned, as if the aurora has restored something to them, some echo of their former glory, some hint of what they were when they were new, when they served their purpose, when they were home to people who have long since returned to dust, to stone, to the great cycle of matter and energy that underlies all existence. You stir slightly in your sleep, not waking, but adjusting, responding to some unconscious signal from your body, some need that cannot be ignored. Your hand emerges from beneath the furs, reaching out, searching, and it finds the edge of the fabric, grasps it, pulls it more tightly around your shoulder, closing the gap through which the cold has been entering. The movement is automatic, instinctive, requiring no thought, no awareness, just the body taking care of itself, protecting itself, doing what it has evolved to do over millions of years. Your hand retreats back beneath the furs, and you settle again, deeper, more comfortable, and the shivering stops. Your body has won this small battle, has secured its perimeter, has maintained its warmth, and it relaxes slightly, allows itself to rest more deeply, to conserve energy, to trust that for now, for this moment, everything is all right, everything is safe, everything is as it should be. The stars continue their slow wheel across the sky, ancient lights following ancient paths, and among them, satellites pass, human-made objects, reflecting sunlight as they orbit the Earth far above. They are too faint to see with the naked eye, especially from here, especially in the presence of the aurora. But they are there, silent witnesses to this night, to your presence on this mountain, to the fact that humanity has reached beyond the Earth, has touched space, has sent machines and people into the void, has begun the long process of becoming something more than a single planet species. But those concerns are far away, irrelevant to this moment, to this place, to this simple act of sleeping beneath the stars. Here, there is only the ancient rhythm, the old story, the simple truth that life is fragile, that warmth is precious, that shelter is a gift, and that beauty exists not because it serves some purpose, but because beauty is what the universe does, is what matter and energy create when conditions are right, is the natural consequence of the laws of physics playing out across time and space. The aurora dims further, the ribbons of light becoming almost transparent, almost invisible, like ghosts, like memories, like something that exists right at the edge of perception. You could look at it and see nothing, see only stars, only darkness, or you could look at it and see everything, see the universe revealing itself, see the hidden connections that link all things, see the pattern that underlies the apparent chaos, the order that emerges from complexity, the beauty that requires no justification, no explanation, no purpose beyond itself. Time passes. How much time it is impossible to say. In sleep, time has no meaning, no substance. A minute can feel like an hour like a minute. And the duration of sleep is measured not in hours, but in depth, in quality, in the degree to which the body and mind are able to rest, to restore, to prepare for the day ahead. Your sleep has cycled through stages, from light to deep to light again, following patterns laid down by biology, by the structure of the brain, by the needs of the body. In the deep stages, you have truly rested, truly let go, and your body has used that time to repair, to rebuild, to strengthen. In the lighter stages, dreams have come, fragmentary and strange, filled with images that make sense while you are dreaming, but that will dissolve upon waking, leaving only feelings, only impressions, only the faintest sense of having been somewhere else, of having experienced something that cannot be captured in words. You have dreamed of light, of green light washing across snow, across stone, across your own upturned face. You have dreamed of falling, but it is not falling, it is flying, it is floating, it is being carried by wind, by light, by something that supports you without effort, without struggle. You have dreamed of voices, but there are no words, only sounds, only tones, only harmonies that resonate in your chest, in your bones, in the deepest parts of yourself. And beneath all these dreams, in the deepest parts of sleep, there has been nothing, only darkness, only silence, only the vast, empty peace of true rest, of consciousness suspended, of awareness dissolved, of being without being aware, of existence stripped of all content, all meaning, all purpose, reduced to its essence, to the simple fact of being, of continuing, of not stopping, not yet. The aurora brightens again, one last time, as if gathering itself for a final performance, a final gift before the night ends and dawn begins its slow, inevitable approach. The ribbons of light expand, multiply, filling the northern sky with color and motion, and the display is beautiful, so beautiful. But you do not see it, do not witness it, do not know that it is happening. It happens without you, for itself, for the universe, for the simple joy of being, of existing, of shining. And perhaps that is the most beautiful thing of all, that beauty exists even when no one is watching, even when no one is there to appreciate it, to witness it, to give it meaning. It exists because existence itself is beautiful, because matter and energy interacting according to physical law create patterns that we call beautiful, that move us, that fill us with awe and wonder and gratitude, even though those patterns have no purpose, no intention, no awareness of their own beauty. The aurora is not trying to be beautiful, it simply is. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. The light intensifies, reaches a peak, and then slowly, gently, begins to fade. The ribbons thin, pale, lose their vibrancy, and one by one they dissolve, fading back into the darkness from which they came, leaving only the stars, only the ancient, patient light of suns so distant that their light has traveled for years, for decades, for centuries to reach this place, to illuminate this mountain, to shine down on you as you sleep, wrapped in furs, held by stone, protected by the simple magic of shelter and fire, and the resilient, patient work of your body, keeping you alive through the coldest hours of the night. The aurora is almost gone now, only the faintest hint of green remaining, a glow on the northern horizon that could be mistaken for dawn if you did not know better, if you did not know that dawn comes from the east, not the north, and that dawn is still hours away, that the night still has time left, that there is still darkness to pass through before the light returns. But the night is no longer deepening. It has reached its nadir, its lowest point, and now, imperceptibly, it is beginning to lighten, to lift, to move toward morning. The change is so subtle that no one could perceive it. Not in a single moment, not in a minute, not even in an hour. But it is happening nonetheless, the slow rotation of the earth carrying this place, this mountain, this small clearing where you sleep, back toward the sun, back toward light, back toward warmth and day and waking. Your body knows this, somehow, even in sleep. It senses the approaching day, prepares for it, begins the slow process of returning to consciousness, of gathering itself, of preparing to wake. The sleep lightens, becomes less deep, and your dreams change, become more vivid, more narrative, more connected to waking concerns and memories, and the anticipation of what comes next. You dream of the sun rising over mountains, of light flooding across snow, of warmth on your face, of the cold finally, mercifully, releasing its grip. You dream of descending the mountain, of returning to the world below, of carrying with you the memory of this night, of this aurora, of this perfect, impossible beauty that you witnessed, that you held, that became part of you. And beneath these dreams, your body continues its work, continues to breathe, to beat, to circulate, to maintain, to survive. It has carried you through the night, has kept you safe, has brought you to the edge of morning, and it will carry you through the day ahead, through the descent, through the return to ordinary life, through all the days that follow, until one day, inevitably, it will fail, will stop, will return you to the earth from which you came, from which all things come and to which all things return. But that day is not this day. This day is beginning, slowly, patiently, inevitably. This day is approaching, carrying with it the promise of warmth, of light, of continuation. This day is yours, another gift, another chance, another opportunity to witness, to participate, to be here, fully, completely, for as long as you are able. The aurora is gone now, completely faded, leaving only the stars and the first, faint hint of coming dawn in the eastern sky, a slight lightening of the darkness. a suggestion of blue where before there was only black. It is barely perceptible, easily dismissed as imagination. But it is real. It is there, and it is growing, slowly, steadily, as the sun approaches from below the horizon, still hidden, but sending its light ahead, heralding its arrival, announcing that night is ending, that day is coming, that the world is about to turn once more from darkness to light. Your sleep lightens further, hovers just below the surface of waking, and in this liminal space, you are aware, somehow, of both sleeping and waking, of both dreaming and being present, of both the internal world of your mind and the external world of mountain and sky and cold. It is a strange state, peaceful and strange, and you rest in it for a while, neither fully asleep nor fully awake, simply existing in that in-between place where boundaries blur and everything is possible. The cold is still there, pressing against you, but it is no longer deepening, no longer intensifying. It has reached its limit, has claimed all it can claim, and now it simply maintains, simply persists, waiting for the sun to rise and drive it back, waiting for warmth to return and force it to retreat to the shadows, to the places where sunlight cannot reach, where it can wait, patient and eternal, for night to return and give it dominion once more. The fire is ash now, grey and cold, all heat gone, all light extinguished. It has served its purpose, has given you warmth through the coldest hours, has provided light and comfort and the ancient primal reassurance of fire's presence. Now it is finished, exhausted, returned to the elements from which it came, and in the morning you will scatter those ashes, will return them to the earth, will erase all evidence of your presence here, leaving the clearing as you found it, pristine and empty, as if you were never here at all. But you were here. You are here, and the mountain knows it. The stone remembers it. The sky has witnessed it. You cannot erase that, cannot undo it. You have become part of this place's story, part of its history. One more traveler who climbed to the heights and spent a night beneath the Aurora. One more consciousness that looked up at the sky and saw beauty, felt wonder, experienced the profound connection that comes from being fully present in a place, fully aware, fully alive. The stars are beginning to fade now, the brightest ones still visible, but the dimmer ones disappearing, washed out by the growing light in the east. Soon they will all be gone, hidden by daylight, invisible though they are still there, still burning, still shining, simply overwhelmed by the nearer, brighter light of the sun. Your breathing deepens slightly, quickens slightly, and your body shifts, prepares, begins the final ascent from sleep to waking. It is time. The night is ending. The day is beginning. And you are about to return, about to emerge from the depths of rest, about to open your eyes and see the world made new by light, transformed by dawn, beautiful in a completely different way than it was in darkness. But not quite yet, not quite. There is still a little time left, still a few more moments to rest, to hold, to savor, before consciousness returns completely and the demands of the day reassert themselves. So you linger in that liminal space, neither asleep nor awake, held between night and day, between rest and activity, between dream and reality. You linger in the peace, in the stillness, in the gentle, patient presence of the mountain holding you, the sky watching over you, the earth supporting you. And slowly, so slowly, you begin to sleep.